Hello everyone, my name is Martin Bialas, I'm a member of Atavism team, and today I will present you two Atavism plugins, quests and tasks. So let's start. In order to open Atavism editor and configure plugins, we have to click on Window, Atavism Online, and we can see Atavism editor window, and quests are part of mob and NPC group, so they are here, and tasks are in the server group here. So let's start from the task. It's basically really tightly connected to the quests plugin. That's why I decided to present it together, and they are responsible for definition in quests where you want to do some reconnaissance, some scouting quests, or basically you want to enter your player enters some area in order to complete quest, or you want to click on some interactive object to complete the quest. So to complete the objective of the quest, because each quest can have multiple objectives. Let's head to the quests, and we will present that based on some example. So let's click on quests, and we can see that quests are really more advanced plugin. So we can define a quest name, we can define description of the quests. These are basically text fields. Here we can define objective text, progress text. It's basically the text when you will accept the quest, and you will head into location of the complete quest NPC, and this progress text will be presented if you will click on that or interact with that NPC which has complete quest definition. Then we got completion text as well at the end. These three types are still work in progress. So we got level, we got faction, and we got chain. Chain will be presented as a storyline element, so you will be able to visualize on the client side that the quest is part of the storyline. And here we got faction definition, so based on faction it will be possible to define what faction that our player should have in order to get that quest, and because faction can be dynamically changed, then for example you will have to complete some number of quests, and after that you will get some reward in faction points, and then you will be able to get that quest at the end. Then we got quest level. As I said, it's also work in progress, so it will be basically for presentation of what is the recommended level for our player to fulfill to complete that quest. Then we got this repeatable checkbox, so we can tick that if you want that quest should be repeatable or not. So our player can take and complete that quest multiple times. Then we got section items given, so we can define up to 3 items here. Items are defined in the items plugin, and we can pick up to 3 items which will be given if the quest will be accepted by the player. Then we got quest prerequisites, so we can define if another quest should be completed or started before that quest can be picked up by the player. So here we can find some predefined quests, and we can of course define more. So we can, for example, design something like quest chains. So first quest can be accepted and completed without any prerequisites quests, and second will require, for example, first quest, and third will require second, and so on. So we can design something like the chain of the quests. Then we got requirements, so we can add multiple requirements. Requirements can be level, skill level, race, class, and stat. So we can define that our character should have level like 10, for example, in order to get that quest, and stat like strength 500 in order to get that quest. So we can mix that, and they are responsible for definition of requirements. Then we got objectives. Each quest can have multiple objectives, so we can different types of objectives. We can have item type, so it's basically get or gain number of specific items. Items can be selected from the list or narrowed down by the filter here. So let's say cloth, and we got cloth items here. So we can say that our objective is to gather cloth pants 01. It's a code name, of course, and we have to gather like 5 such items, and text for the objective, for that objective. We can add more objectives, of course, and we can define different types, like we can define mob, so kill the number of mobs, for example Bumberbug. Let's kill 5 of that mobs to fulfill that objective, and of course text for this objective. We can define a task, as I mentioned before, so we can define that task in the server group task plugin. It's basically only the name, and we can select this task here. So we can define that we have to complete 5 tasks which we will pick from the list. Or if we will set that to 0, that task will be automatically completed. So for example, we got such predefined quest in the Atavism with demo data. So at the beginning, player will just accept the first quest, and the task, there is only one objective with type task, and that task has count set to 0, so that task is already fulfilled and already completed. So the player will just have to second time talk with the NPC in order to get the reward. And at the end we got type mob category, so we can mix them, and mob category is basically similar to mob type, with the exception that we can define multiple mobs for one objective. So for example, we want to complete that objective if we will kill 10 mobs, but not only Bumberbug 1 but also Bumberbug 2. We can imagine that we can have some quest like kill elite orc warriors and or orc mobs, while these mobs, elite mobs, can be like orc warriors, orc mages, orc priests, and so on. So we can define multiple mobs here, and we can of course define number of that mobs and text for this objective. Then we got reward section, so we can define experience as a reward. Then we got up to 4 items with number of that for each of that item. So we can say that player will get let's say plate gloves, and it will be 1 plate gloves and 1 leather gloves and so on. So these 4 rewards are guaranteed, and we can define up to 4 items the same as above, but these items are item choice 1, item choice 2, and so on. So these are designed to as a reward from which the player will pick one. So if we will have 4 items here, like pink star and wooden stick, then the player will have to pick one of these reward. Then we got currencies, currency 1 and currency 2. So we can define like gold and, for example, premium currency or any different currency, because in Atavism you can have multiple currencies. So we can define reward as currency 1 and currency 2. Let's say 100 gold and 15 diamonds. Then we got reward as faction, so we can add some faction points. Factions will be explained in another tutorial, but basically they are responsible for how the factions relations will behave. So we can define if human faction versus orc factions will behave, if they will be enemies or friendly or neutral. So we can add some points, and based on that we can, for example, change the behavior of that attitude of that factions. So after some point we can for example become friendly with orcs, or our character can have friendly orcs and get some quests based on that. So we got quests, we got tasks, so you can configure many elements here, and yeah, it's really powerful and flexible plugin. What is also worth to mention is that quests can be attached to the NPCs. They can be attached to the NPCs in the runtime, in the play mode. So I won't present that element, but they also can be attached to the interactive objects. So we can imagine that your player can click on some doors in order, or obelisks, or to get the quest, or just enter the region, and he will automatically get the quest as well. So that's all for this part. Thanks for watching. I hope you like it, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.